Welcome back to To Be Honest, presented by Respect the North. I'm your host, Shaki. I have my girl here with me, Nat, and Chanel. Y'all can give out your nicknames. And they're also the hosts of the show. But I'm the host for today. I'm just joking. I'm just playing with you guys. How's it going, though? Everything is good?
I'm alright.
How was your week?
It was interesting.
Why was it so interesting? You met somebody new, didn't you?
What are you Can you mind your business?
I'm not in your business. Just joking.
There is no business on To Be Honest.
That's true. Say there is no business. Your business is my business.
So how was your week?
My week was alright, but honestly, I've been just hearing too much shit that's been going on lately, like a lot of shootings been going on in Brampton, especially a lot of shootings been going on in Toronto. Like last week's show, when I Ubered home, I got pulled over by the police when I Ubered home because a shooting literally happened a minute before.
Really?
And they pulled us over. They see me wearing that jacket I was wearing in all black, and they're like, yo, we're pulling this guy over. So they pulled over my Uber because they said they're looking for a black sedan. So things been going on.
Think about what, they thought you were a suspect getting away in an Uber?
Yeah, because they said it was in the area, and I looked like the suspect. We were in the car. I had a bag with me that I usually carry in my duffel bag.
So what did they ask you?
Well, they're like, well, where you coming from? I was like, yo, I just came from a shoot. And they're like, oh, what's in your bag?
You should probably never use that word. Shoot.
One time though, because one time.
Shooting. Come on, nigga.
But I said a shoot. So he's like, so what's in your bag?
I also slowly put my hand like this into my sweater.
So they probably think I had the gunners in my bag. Maybe I don't know. Even the Uberman, he was cheese too. It was a black Uberman too.
Oh,
black guy too, yeah.
That didn't help.
And he had it's all right, things like that happen, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, that's been happening too much now, just a lot of shootings. And now I'm hearing that cops are just shooting everybody too. It's like, we're not doing nothing. And I'm talking about everybody now. I'm seeing for cases. We're not doing anything and people are just getting shot.
Yeah, even in your own home.
For nothing.
I don't think it's happened yet in Canada, but in the States.
Actually, things have happened here.
What? Police officers entering your home and
police
killing
officers
people?
Shooting people innocently.
But not in the home.
I don't think in the home, but if you're right by your house and the police are shooting you right outside of your crib.
That's true. That's pretty much your home.
Yeah. And that's happened to a few people that I've heard.
Area.
But, and usually it's because, but for that situation a little different because the guy, he was kind of known for being a little bit wild. And if the police knows that, they should take more, better care of how they would deal with the person that they know.
Yeah, you still don't try and kill them in their home.
I guess.
What's crazy is we're talking about people now who are eating ice cream on their couch. Mm-hmm. Or just at home, with little children, mm-hmm. The most recent woman, Tatiana Jefferson.
Yeah.
And both of them were in Texas, in Fort Worth and Dallas. Yeah. Which is crazy. You can't even...
There's clearly something going on in that state's, justice system. Yeah. But I just want to double back real quick when you're talking about, being pulled over. Uh-huh. How did that make you feel? In that moment,
honestly, because, and not to make this cliche or anything, mm-hmm. I know I'm black, and also my skin color is dark. I have a dark complexion, so that also kind of makes it, more worse in that type of case. Because honestly, I seen the police who pulled me over before they pulled me over, before I was even in the Uber.
Were they white? Were they white?
There was one was white and one was Indian.
Okay.
Or brown or whatever. And when I was at the bus stop downtown Brampton, I seen the guy pass by me and he looked at me. So I seen that they looked at me. The cops.
Yeah. Okay.
The cops. They looked at me and they took a right turn. And then my Uber came after literally a minute later. I got in my Uber and he was gonna go pick up another person right across the street. So we took that same turn the police did, and he took another turn because it seems that the girl was behind us. So he made the turn around, and as soon as he made that turn,
doing an Uber pool.
Uber pool, yes, I was in Uber pool actually. Yeah. So they're picking us somebody else. And basically he was turning around, and as soon as he made the right turn, he said, "Oh, there's police following us." I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, okay, make this turn real quick and see if they'll follow us. So he made the turn, and the police did the exact same thing, and right away they just pulled us over. I'm like, shit. I'm like, what did you do? He's like, I didn't do nothing, man. What did you do? Like, he's looking at me like, I did something. I'm like,
Get in
I
the
didn't do nothing. I got in your way, but I knew nothing. I already seen these policemen. So they came and pulled us over. The guy shined the light, tried to play it off because I just woke up literally from coming off of the bus. So the man looked at me, he's like, what's going on here, sir? I'm like, yo, honestly, I just woke up. He's shining a light in my face. I'm like, honestly, I just woke up. Like, chill for a second. He's like, oh, my bad. So, where you coming from and stuff, and that's when he got into it. But honestly, it's like,
what's that? So you feel? Are you normalizing it? Like, are you desensitized to?
I'm a little bit because, like, I believe like they're trying to like put everybody in the system no matter what. They're trying to get you. They're trying to know you and know who you are. So that's how I felt like, even though they didn't need to pull me over, like and I told a police officer after, I'm like, you guys see me. You see me walking. You see me right there waiting. So why would you pull over my car knowing that you see me? It's like, I didn't see you before.
And you were at the bus stop too, right?
I was at the bus stop. But there was a lot of, we called them buckies.
Imagine
a lot of buckies around.
Imagine if you just shot someone up and then you were waiting for the Brampton Transit to come in like an hour.
Or waiting for an Uber. Like
that's what made no sense. It's like, why would I do a shooting?
Yeah, you're like, I can't even, like, I don't want to spend a lot to get away.
I don't know, I find that sometimes cops don't, like, they don't think. They just do. They don't put things together. But I guess in some moments, like, you can't think that fast.
I think so. I don't know.
They do think things together. But what it's not what they think. It's like the information they have. Black sedan. You're most likely looking for a black person who did the crime. We fit the description perfectly. There's two people in a black sedan. They're both black, wearing black. Then one has a bag, one has a black duffel bag. Like, I look like I was a drug dealer. Like, honestly, even when they were passing this is what cheesed me. When they were passing, some next lady came up to me, and she was probably one of those girls who, probably do a 1-2. And she randomly came up to me for no reason. And she made it look like she was on a bicycle, then stopped, then turned around to me. And that's when the police were passing me. I was like, and I was actually on the phone with Jesse. And because I thought I was calling him to tell him that my headphones are here. So after that, I just left, got in the Uber, and that's when it happened. But honestly, like, I'm not surprised with it.
That's why you need to bring your bike here, because then you don't have to freaking take an Uber
all the way here, Natalie.
So we talked about this. When you're going back to Brampton late at night, all those people had bicycles.
No, man, that's what you're saying. But I'm like, I'm just gonna Uber. You guys like,
can't be doing that in the winter.
I wasn't good in the Uber, so next time I'm gonna have to just find another way. I thought taking an Uber would be the safest way to get home, but no, it's not. The police will try you to.
So are you saying that you don't trust the police?
Man, I don't trust none of them.
I'm just asking for clarification because you said the safest way home. So I'm just paying attention to your verbiage.
Because, like, we're talking about how policemen now are shooting innocent people. Imagine if they truly thought I was the guy they were looking for, that they just had to shoot him from.
Yeah. And pulling out of the vehicle.
And what if I didn't? Retaliate the right way? What if I came and I started like trying to fussing around and they didn't like that? They're like, hey, what's in your bag? I'm like, sir, I'm actually just trying to show you nothing. Anything could happen, and they could look at it and be like, whoa, and try to retaliate from what I'm doing. Yeah. And then I could end up dead for nothing. I've seen that happen. Literally, a man is there sleeping in his car. He didn't hear the police telling him to wind down his window, and they shot him. They shot the guy for nothing.
I feel like that's a situation where they could have at least used a taser.
No.
Why are you tasing him?
It's not justified, but it's it's not gonna murder someone. Most people don't die from tasing.
You can't shoot a taser through a window, and why am I shooting at somebody who's sleeping in their car?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make
that makes sense. No sense.
I'm not saying it would have made sense,
but that was actually caught on camera. That's what's even more messed up. They did that on camera.
I don't think body cams.
Yes.
So do you guys think that body cams are effective?
Oh hell no!
Right now.
Well, I think
in North America, because
in North America,
yeah, because we hear a lot more about body cams in the U.S.
I don't even know if we have them down here.
I don't know, but that's why I'm saying North America, because I don't want to only talk
Honestly,
about Canada.
I think there would be a little bit pointless unless certain areas have body cams. You know, that would make more sense.
Communities or
certain communities? Certain communities have the police have body cams.
Yeah, but there's a lot of so.
I think everyone in the States has it now, but they tried it at certain communities first.
There's a lot of instances where people edited body cam video, paused it, even with again, to go back to her, because she's the most recent example, Tatiana Jefferson. Yeah. She was in her house with a child.
With her nephew, yeah.
I don't know why the front door was open. I didn't get that far.
Don't leave the doors open.
But the police officer crept around into the backyard and was looking in through the window, and she was scared. And he was wearing like a body cam camera. Yeah. And I mean, like, I think it helps in the justice system, because now we can see, like, she wasn't threatening him, for example. Like, she still died, which is really tragic, but it's all on tape, and it's like accessible to sort of at least fight the police department.
I feel like it doesn't make a difference whether you have a body cam or not when you're a black person, because half of the time the police officers, they don't get convicted, they don't go to jail, so why
for long enough,
you know what I mean? Like, and people are out there and they're taking videos with their own phones, and still nothing is happening. Like, so does it work in the favor of a black person? Does it work? It doesn't work in our favor, and it feels like it works against us, and I don't know why, if it's showing proof that, like, we're being targeted. But I don't think the cameras even,
I think at least if there's proof, it's easier to fight the legal system. You might not win, which is really tragic, but at least there's evidence as
you know what,
fighting this case, that the judge knows that they're not gonna, or the jury, like, I didn't even know who the fuck chooses these people on. Don't choose me, because I ain't coming. But like,
you have to go.
I'm usually on vacation. I know. I'm usually on vacation, like, in the summer, you know. So
just go there and be like really biased, and then they'll be like,
I already work for the government, so I just that's
yeah, but you might naturally be biased against certain like, if it's if it's a case where it's a murder against a black person, you're gonna be biased against that, and you're not gonna be an effective juror, because you won't be like neutral.
Do you believe that? If the roles were reversed and it was a case about a white person, do you believe because you're white you're gonna be biased?
No.
So I wouldn't be biased just because they're black.
That's true.
It depends on the crime, the facts, and all that stuff. But I actually was watching something on SNL a few weeks ago. Somebody sent it to me on Instagram, and it was a funny skit, and it was like white people crimes and black people crimes. So it was like news reporters, like two black news reporters and I think 2 white ones, and they showed, like, they were broadcasting the news, and then they were playing a guessing game on if it was a white person that did this crime or a black person, and it was so funny. And then towards the end of the skit, they were taking points, like, and they said his name is like Jamal. He's black, and it was just a funny skit. But then if you sit back and you think about it, it's like, yo, I'm even desensitized to this. Like, they were like, a man kidnapped somebody, that person's white, and it's like, black people actually really think like that. Like, I know I think like that. Like, when I see the news and I'm like, that's a white person did that. Like, or
we think like that.
Yeah, we do. Like, and then I can't speak for, like, if white people think about that. Like, I know as a black person, like,
I wouldn't blame them if they did, because, like, I would expect that, to be honest, a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like it's kind of, like, as black people, I'm not trying to, like,
but we're all
shame
people,
us,
right?
but it's kind of asked backwards if we get mad that they think that we do certain crimes, but we can't think that they, you know what I mean? So it gotta be, it gotta be reciprocal.
How do you feel about how in the news now they're not really describing people by race? If they aren't. No.
Oh, they stopped doing that because it's sensitized.
Yeah.
All of that is now. Yeah.
So now they're like, oh, it's a 6 foot tall
You
male.
can't say African American anymore.
And you're like, well, how are we ever going to find this person now? Like, I get, like, it perpetuates, like, stereotypes and whatnot.
They
but, like,
should say the race. Because how are we going to narrow down this person? Like, say there's an Amber Alert.
They don't want us to know because they know that people are obviously sensitive to this and people.
But if they're looking for someone and they're asking the community
for assistance, you're telling us to call 22-TIPS, and your bitch ass ain't even giving us the information.
They'll give you the best description they can. They'll say he's a tan colored feller or dark complected person. That's how they will talk.
Is that how white people talk?
Feller? You didn't go to a white school, did you?
A white school. I didn't even go to a white school.
I went to a white school.
I went to a predominantly white school in terms of like, So I know your voice could be better. Your answer machine is probably really good.
Nah, my answer machine, I don't got one.
Hi, my name is Shaquille. But what we were saying.
You know what I want to say?
I
want to say about the police and how he shot the
Amber Geiger.
Yes. I was thinking like because like they're against us, right?
Who's against us?
The police are against like black people. That's what we're saying. The police.
But that's such a general state. Like
no, well, I'm not saying. I don't want to say that they're fully against us.
There's black people, and I'm sure there's black people on the Texas police forces.
Yeah, and honestly, that doesn't matter. none of that matters. Because if it mattered, things would be different everywhere. Do you know how much black people said they want to become police to try to change it, and nothing has happened? Why? Because they get into the same corruption other policemen get into, and because they're black, they're more closer to the community, which would allow them to get more intel on different things. So what I was trying to say was that policeman who shot that woman could have had the wrong intel. Into the guy.
The first. You're talking about the first one. Are you talking about Tatiana?
Yeah, that one. That one I'm actually talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. I forgot her name. Sorry.
It's okay.
I was thinking that maybe he had wrong intel and he went to the wrong place, and because that people expect. Like, and I'm not saying people, like, sometimes cops expect a lot of these crimes or anything that they hear to be black people, and if he heard it was and the description fits, that's what I'm saying. I fit the description that night when they pulled me over.
Yeah.
Once that happens, they could do anything they want, literally.
But cops get their intel from other
snitches.
People in the community.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Fucked up shit.
So how do you call so this is what happened in that situation. The neighbor called the cops because he saw the front door was open and he thought that there was an intruder in Tatiana's house. And so he called the cops so that the cops could, like, investigate. And he was on the news later after she had been shot and died, and he said, I regret calling the cops because if I had never called the cops, my neighbor would still be alive.
It's not even, it's like he was just trying to look out, but this is the thing.
No, but remember, the cop took it as wrong intel.
Okay, yeah.
The cop did.
But this is the thing. That's why everybody needs to mind their fucking business. Like, and I'm not saying, in certain situations, I find that nowadays in society, we don't mind our fucking business. We all up in everybody else's business, and that's what causes even more problems. But if that, I'm not saying the guy should have minded his business, but like the cop should have been like trying to waiver it, like maybe knock on the door and say, hey, hi, I'm just patrolling the area, is everything okay in here?
I think he did knock, which is why, and he didn't get a response, which is why he went around to the back to see if like, but I want to know, is that cop going to be treated the same way that Amber Geiger was treated? Because the cop essentially murdered someone who was innocently in their home. Is he going to be tried for murder? Is he only going to get 10 years?
Because of
Is he going to get a hug from the judge?
And from the killers or the family of the victim?
I don't think anything is going to happen to him. I don't think anything is going to happen to him. If you look at the facts, if you look at the intel, like the guy, he most likely did that accidentally.
Yeah, and I think I heard that it was like he's only been on the job for like a couple of months.
Yeah.
So why was he by himself? Where was his partner? partner.
You see, that's the corruption in the system itself, but that's another whole thing to talk about. But this is the reason why he's not going to be charged for nothing. He's going to be freed.
I'm pretty sure, don't police officers need a warrant to enter your house? Don't they need a warrant to enter your backyard? Because that's private property.
Yeah, but
so this guy's sneaking around in her backyard.
You only need a warrant to enter your house. If it's unless you have private property, then they need a warrant to enter your property.
It is private property.
No,
your property is private property.
Your backyard.
Okay, true. Your backyard.
He's trespassing.
Yeah.
Yes, true, but you're forgetting that they're the law.
But it's the same.
But
as
doesn't mean that
entering
they're
your
above
home.
it, and that's how they act.
That's how they
act, but
because
doesn't mean that it's right. You know,
if you think about it, they do. They do
power
run the
tripping.
law.
They're power tripping.
They do run the law. You can't look. I can't stop him from pulling me over. Even though I'm not the right guy, how am I supposed to stop him from pulling me over? That's the law. They could do that if they want.
Yeah, but you weren't on private property. You were in an Uber. That's like a taxi, essentially.
Right,
that's part of the city.
I've heard these things before, and you can't be surprised about it.
No, we're not surprised. We're just saying it's the law.
If you're saying it's the law, then it's not the law. Because the law is them. They are the law. Whatever they enforce is what they create. From what they are, the law.
But you know what it is? We as people give them power. That the only way they could attain power is they had to get it from a source. A source is the community, right? We put our trust in them because they're supposed to serve and protect and all that bullshit, and they don't do it. But they continue to have that power because what happens in other situations, like a car crash, you know the police is going to be there for you. It's just certain situations, especially as Black people, it's just a disadvantage for us. That's just unfortunate.
I don't want to say like they're fully against us, but I'm telling you it's because of what we've already gone through. It's like it's a normal thing to hear these things now.
Yeah.
And it's only because it's been happening so long that people really shouldn't be surprised now. Instead of being surprised about these things, and I know people try to do something about it, but there's a difference between one person saying something and everybody trying to do something about what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So what do you propose a solution be?
Look, there's only really one solution.
What's kill them motherfuckers? I'm joking.
I want to know.
I don't have.
Can police
revolt Black people?
No, it's not. Look. It's not like that. It's not like that.
Can police officers ever make mistakes?
Yeah,
but I mean, if your target is always a Black person, that ain't no mistake.
That's a stereotype.
Would it have been different if it was a Black cop and a Black victim?
No, that's just Black on Black crime.
No, it's not different
that makes
at
it worse,
all.
Actually.
It does make it worse. I look at Black. I don't trust any cop. You're Black. You're white. You're Asian. I don't trust you. The funny thing is, when I was in Jamaica with my cousins, all my cousins, their dream is to come to Canada. And I was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a police officer. In my head, I'm just like, because out there, to be a police is like a big thing. To be in the army or whatever in Jamaica, back home, it's a big thing. So when my little cousin, a girl, said this, I'm just like, interesting, because none of the kids I know, if I ask my little sister right now what she wants to do, kids here don't even say that because of what we see. Mm-hmm. But the corruption over there is way worse in the law enforcement. But it's just interesting to see like how we've been programmed.
Isn't there also a little bit less of like a... Okay, I don't want to sound ignorant, but obviously in Jamaica, the majority of the residents of the island would be Black, right?
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So there's less of a racial tension?
Yeah, there's less racial tension, yes. There's still, like, shadeism. But, like, when it comes to those countries, any Caribbean country, if it's predominantly Black, there's always, like, class. Class becomes an issue, where it's, like, who has more money, and that's why there's a lot of robberies or this and that. So there's always an issue. But but back there it's mostly like it's class, who has more money, status,
That's usually for the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But some places like Guyana, I know for sure like there's a mix of a whole bunch of people, so they do have
there's
like,
shadeism.
There's a lot of shade.
Shadeism is big in the Black community, like even here.
Since we're talking about that,
more honestly, my bad. Before you continue, what you just said was actually very important. It's a big thing down here. I've experienced more problems with shadism with black people down here than anywhere else in the States. It's not like that. Black people don't treat each other the way they do down here when it comes to their skin color. When every place is different. But I'll say, just our neighbors, New York, right there is completely different from down here, the way black people are treated.
Yeah, everybody's gonna hail you up. Like, I know when I go to New York, you walk past and it's like, what's up, brother? What's up, sister? And I'm like, I don't even know this nigga. What's up, Nick? Like,
they always say good afternoon. They
always greeting.
When people ask,
they're friendly.
Here it's not. It's like, oh, you're light skin or dark skin or this and you're that.
For the scene.
Yeah, like
sit in front here. We can't see you on.
You just want to see those popping cheekbones.
Oh,
thank you, I appreciate it.
Don't look at me. I didn't give you the compliment. I didn't give you the compliment.
Don't look at you, but you said
I didn't give you the compliment. Don't look my way.
What I heard from my left there was an so I just moved like
Jackie, focus.
There's a whole dynamic on that side.
There is not.
There's no topics for anything that's going on between me and her.
There is not. Oh my! Can you guys? You guys are really gonna have my problem.
You're good.
It's getting really heated.
We got a little too excited. People. Hold on. Let's calm down.
Energy drink.
Too much energy.
Here. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
You got the.
It's getting too live in here.
Alright, you get a piece too, and let me help.
Oh boy. This is live TV.
We just spilled.
The little pause in the.
Yeah, because we're talking about real heated issues, yo. And the table's thirsty. First, thirsty for these facts.
Hang on.
Here, can I get one more?
Yeah.
Please. Oh. No, just go.
The rest of it.
Why you gotta make something all the time or something?
Man, I ain't doing nothing, man. You caught this all on yourself.
Just edit all of this out, please.
Nah, keep all of this. Remember, we're supposed to keep it to be
bring
honest.
it together.
It's supposed to be straight to the point.
Come get your cousin.
Is there a problem?
And why are you trying to switch up cups for?
I didn't do that. I moved it so I can think it.
What do you guys think is more crucial to fix? The black on black crime or police brutality against black people?
Both.
Black on black crime.
Both, man.
You gotta
black
start.
on black crime first.
You gotta start within your community.
Yeah.
That way, then the people who are not of your community know how to treat you. I don't want to say we don't value ourselves, but it's many years of learning how to value ourselves. That way other people can see us in that same way and see that we're humans. Because I think I watched something really briefly in regards to a Tatiana, what was her last name? Jefferson, sorry. And a woman said, what if that was my dog? You guys would be putting the police officer behind bars for killing my dog, so you won't do that for her. And it's true. It's like, because everybody knows, like, white people love dogs. Like, everybody knows that.
It's true.
Yeah, and it's like, if it's a pet, it's like,
I don't think a police officer would go to jail for killing a dog.
but still everybody sympathizes with animals. Like, I noticed with a lot of white people, not a lot, but some white people, it's like they sympathize with animals before they even sympathize with black people.
Yeah.
And it's so, it hurts. Like,
did you see how they tried to spin it? Where they said, well, we saw a handgun. She had a handgun in her home. And it's like, yeah, obviously you're in Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
And in the U.S. in general, she has a right to have a gun in her home.
Gun. My auntie got guns out there in her wheelchair. Like,
hey,
she's like, yeah, she got it, and she got it tucked in her shoe too. But it's licensed. Everybody's allowed to. So,
I know, it was the most ridiculous spin.
And there's always, even with both them Jean, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I've heard both of them.
Jean, yeah. With him and the other guy who lived across and he was murdered. They tried to say that his murder was drug related, like 3 days after the trial finished.
Wow.
And then it's
That's
like,
so
how could it be? Why would someone who sells drugs to that magnitude be on stand in trial? Like, the last thing you're gonna want to do is be part of a murder case.
And he was always speaking out about how terrified he was of the gun violence around him.
So, and then they're like, we found the guys. It was 3 black men, and I'm just like, okay, this is the government trying to make us think that I don't know.
It was like, you think it was police retaliation?
I think it's the government setup. Yeah, I said it. The government sets up. I'm not saying all the time, but that was a government setup to make us as black people think, and everybody else think, that we just can't be civilized with one another. And don't trust that guy's word because he was a drug dealer, so we can't even trust that he really saw Amber do anything. Yeah, like, you're not gonna fool me. Thank you. But yeah, like, I don't know, that stuff gets me quite heated.
I don't know. I think it was it was really, really, really quickly after he took the stand too.
Yeah, it was like
it was
3
a few
days.
Yeah,
3 days after
Absolutely
the trial
ridiculous.
was done. So do you guys think, like what JP asked, like, should it be fixed in the community or fix police brutality?
Like, I think, like I said, both are like kind of on similar levels, but it does have to start with our community first. Like, I think we don't like the fact we are what we are, and because of the world putting so much shade on us, that we hate each other for it, and we blame each other for it, and that's why we attack each other so much. Like, we hate each other so much because we don't love each other. And I think we have to put back the love in the black community to really change the crime that's going on with all of us, because we're fighting our brothers to eat over one another instead of actually eating together, like how other races have accomplished to do. And because we've been through so much, and we've just been discriminated through so much throughout life and throughout our generations, that we don't like each other at all anymore. Like, black people don't want to be around other black people.
You know what? I'll say on that point, I know someone who is black, and he always says to me, I don't want to go to that event. I don't want to go to that concert. I don't want to go to that festival. There's too many black people there, and bad stuff always happens when there's too many. And those are not my words.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what? Like, even I want to go to these things.
Yeah.
And, like, Afrofest, for example. I'm like, wow, like, I really want to go and, like, celebrate with people who are happy and see all the beautiful, colorful clothing and, like, understand it better.
Yeah.
And we didn't end up going because he said, I don't feel safe in places where there's too many black people.
I know a lot of people like that.
You know, that's exactly what the police
adults.
think too. When there's too many black people in one place, they think there's a problem. Like, especially back in like middle school and high school, it don't matter what we were doing. If there was a group of black kids, police will show up. It don't matter where we were, police will show up if there's a big group of black kids. It didn't matter where, and that has happened literally my whole life. Never once that did not happen.
It's sad.
It doesn't matter where.
It's sad because, like, as a kid, when you see that, it's like life. You learn that from a young age that, like, I'm not liked.
I'm not safe.
Yeah, I'm not liked. I'm not safe. I'm not. Yeah, I'm a problem.
That's the thing. They think that we're a problem. That's the thing. We're not safe. They think us being around places
they're
are not safe.
They're projecting their fear.
Yeah.
I don't know where this fear comes from, but this fear.
Because we are black and we have power.
Well,
we have a lot of power in the world that is not being used the right way, and they see that we have power, but like I said, we're not using it the right way.
We just all need to get on one accord.
So I'll tell you right now how. All right, the smartest family in the world right now is a black family.
Who?
I forgot it's during England. I forgot the family. I have to research this again. Research real quick.
Okay, cut that out.
I am just definitely not.
You can literally type in the smartest family in the world.
Well, what is their smartness based on?
Oh, their IQ. You know, simple stuff like that, man. Like scientists.
So you brought that up to say what?
To say that we have
the UK-based Nigerian.
To say that black people, we are very powerful
twins
beings.
Okay, wait.
That's what I'm trying to talk about.
This. What is
I don't know. There's a video, so we don't want to watch the video. That's why.
Look, I'm just trying to say that a lot of things that we're not recognized for, other people are, and we should be more recognized for the power that we hold as black people. That's why I'm showing you this family right now.
They're called the Wonder Twins.
Yes. And
these are their parents. Yeah, go on.
And honestly, I'm trying to say that like we could do many things. Sorry, we could do a lot of things as people. We have done so many things as people that the world just doesn't recognize it for being what we've done. A lot of like technology and inventions that have been made actually have been stolen from black people too.
Yeah,
a lot of inventions. So we're not recognized for what we have done, and that is the fact that we have a lot of power and we're smart. And this is why I think they feared that, because they know we've done so much. They just didn't want to be recognized from us. And I'm saying,
at the end of the day, even black, white, big, skinny, whatever, when you're not invited to the table, make your own table. Period.
I like that.
That's it. Like that. That's it. Like Tyler Perry did it.
Yeah.
Even kids that are like get bullied, you know, it's really shitty, but make your own table. And they usually end up making their own table, or they go to the school and they kill everybody else. You know, it's either or. I'm just being honest, right? I'm being honest. Like sometimes they go that route, but just in closing, if we as black people are not accepted, or whatever difference you have from the majority, make your own table. That's it. That's what I would say.
I like
that. So in closing, that's a wrap. And we hope you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
SoundCloud.
To be on yeah, with a zero.
You can
TOO0.
You guys said the last like few episodes around SoundCloud now, right?
Yeah, we are on SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud.
Oh, yeah, we're on all of them.
My bad.
You're on all of it.
So Facebook, YouTube. Do not follow me personally on Instagram.
Follow Cha-Cha.
Y'all.
Do not follow me. I have my man get y'all.
A lot of creeps.
Reject.
Man
I'm gonna get my man to decline y'all. Anyways, that's about it. Do you want to plug your Instagram name and your businesses and all that stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Follow me on Instagram at Shaki, and follow my film production company, Marewood Studios, on Instagram, and also check out our YouTube, Marewood Studios, on YouTube.
Woo! And that
my Instagram is really boring, so follow To Be Honest.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
And love yourself first before anybody else.
Peace.